Well, I've been steadily kicking along on my sema project, and I was putting my column in and getting my header set. I was still moving my engine around to make sure my column was going to work. And when I started doing my pedals, a problem arose. With the pedals, the way I have these pedals, there's just nowhere for this column to go to get back out to my gearbox, my steering gearbox, and I was just having trouble making that work. I even got to the point to where I was fixing to put my pedals and master cylinder and clutch underneath the cab, so I'd have had to fabricate it, all that, or bought it, and they don't really have an exact kit. It's just been a huge amount of work to put all that under the floor, and then your pedals are kind of pushing down and around, and it gets a little mushy feeling sometimes. And I really wanted to use this nice setup that I got from American Powertrain that Paul set me up with, because this is exact. This is going to work like a champ. Make that work in there. So I did a little research. Got a hold to Dave at Steerclear, Steering Wizard, and he invented this product a while back. This made the 2014 SEMA Product of the Year. This is going to be a lifesaver for what I'm fixing to do. And Paul, if you're watching at American Powertrain, this would be a great little deal to help on these pedals. So these pedals are going to be under my dash, like so. And my steering column now, I can come straight out of the top, make my steering column actually is going to be going like it would be in a Mustang or Camaro. It's going to be going straight out the Firewall. I've taken my column and I've cut that down, and I will try to put a little video together to show you how to do that. It's not that hard to do. Or you can buy a column for about 400 bucks that's already cut down short. And my steering column goes straight into this, comes straight out here, goes straight to my gearbox. Then I'll be able to put these pedals in there, and they'll be in there just like that. And this will be on the outside of the Firewall. Going to fix it like a champ. Now originally I had ordered a 14-inch, and he's got these in different lengths. So the 14-inch was just a little bit short, so I talked to Dave, and he sent me out the 16, and I'll just send this one back to him. So what a great product, Dave. Thank you for sending me this. This really was a lifesaver in getting this big fat 460 motor setting up in that Camaro subframe. So now I've already got my Firewall, I've made a little landing on the Firewall for it. I'm fixing to get all this in place, locked in, so that my steering is working perfectly. Then that's going to tell me where my motor needs to be. I think my motor's in a good spot. I don't think I'm going to have to move it all, but I'm not locking anything down until I get my steering and all that in place. Then once that's in place, then the pedals can go in, and then we can start doing something different. But now, I've got this mount on here, and you can see how this is working now. I put masking tape on this piece so I don't damage the surface on it, because it looks so nicely brushed finish. But I made that plate, mounted it to my Firewall, then I mounted that there, and now the geometry on that is almost exactly the way it was when it was originally in the Camaro. So now, let's go take a look at the inside. Now inside here, you can see my columns setting up here. I've actually cut the end off my column tube and my inner shaft, and I've cut my dash out, and where I raise it up, now I go straight back into the Firewall. That gives it a nice clean look on the side. It's not down there in the way of your feet. Got my pedals down here, and if you can see up under here, you can see where my steering shaft comes out right up here, and then I'll just put a double D right there, U-joint, a little double D shaft up to here, and then another little double D U-joint right there, and then these pedals will go right up there just like that, and that'll be just slick as can be. Now I yank my column back out, and you can see I cut it pretty close to the length. I got in there and set and got kind of comfortable, and made it go all the way to the Firewall. And then I just cut this off, and I cut my shaft off about the same length, because I know I'm going to at least need that much material. Now I've marked my dash where my dash comes through, and then that's where I'm fixing to install my U-joint, wherever my U-joint is. Got another U-joint somewhere that's kind of like this one, and I'll mount that in there on that double D shaft. And then I'm just going to come right out the side of this, right into the Steerclear by Steering Wizard. Now I'm going to be able to miss, this is where my neutral safety switch and start switch go from my key, so I'll still be able to use that, I hope. That's the plan so far. And then yeah, then I'll make me a foot and mount this to the Firewall, and we've shortened down a steering column. So let me get this side cut out where I can come out the side and get my U-joint mount in there, make my little double D shaft, and we'll stick it back in there and I'll show you what that looks like. Well, I finally got all the steering wrapped up. It was quite a long and drawn out process due to the way I wanted these pedals to work that I showed you before, and now I've got it in place. You can see now it's working great. Steering back down low where it comes out low for my Camaro subframe, and steering comes straight in, good comfortable fit for the driver. My Steerclear worked out really nice right there. I did have to cut one of the tubes off the headers, and I will relocate that and just make it a little bit shorter. This is a 3-piece header, so it just pulls right out. I'll chop that and then make that work. And let me show you what it looks like on the inside. Now inside here, you can see I've cut that column off. It's about 16 inches long. And then I've had to come out of the side of it just a little bit because my Steerclear was getting too close to the valve cover, and I want that valve cover to still be serviceable where I can take it on and off. And so I moved that Steerclear over just a little bit, which put it straight in line with the output shaft to go to the gearbox, and that Steerclear will look better straight up and down vertically instead of leaning on the outside as well. Then I've got my wilwood pedals in place, and I'm really stoked about that because I wanted to use those. And then I've got my low car gas pedal. That's the closest look I could find to these pedals here. I may brush the face of it off to make it look kind of like these. But these wilwood pedals are great with that little small master. I can put a remote reservoir somewhere, and then all that should work out just fine. Let me give you just a little bit tighter look up under here of what I had to do. Now underneath the dash here, I was able to utilize the key. I kept the key and the lock mechanism in the steering wheel. I got rid of the part here where it had the shifter in it. It's all gone. I handmade this piece right here, put a little side on it so that I can use my push rod for my start switch and have accessories. And the harness I got from Summit will plug right into that, and that'll get me way ahead of the game when I start wiring. Then on the side, I come out of that with my double D. I just notched the side of this column right out of the side, right down into my Steerclear. Wanted to keep that good and straight in line, and then maybe some little brackets, and got my pedals in there working good, my low car gas pedal in there working good, and I like that. I think that's going to work out real nice. Now back out here on the outside, I've got my bed in, and I'm working on mocking it up. Chris Condon's still working on my wheels. They should be here for too awful long, and Bebops is working on my fenders. They get my fenders here, get my wheels here, and get my running boards on. I can finish up mocking up my front end. Still waiting on some stack stuff and do the firewall, and then maybe hopefully get this body off and start doing some prep work. So let's get back to work.